Hey everyone, you're listening to Ankur Warikoo on Woice with Warikoo. On this podcast, I talk to you about entrepreneurship, how to grow in life, manage personal finances, handle failures, and a lot more things that just come to my mind. The episode begins. This is going to be a very honest podcast. Not that the others have not been honest, but this is absolutely free flowing. I haven't thought about this, and this is right in the moment. So it's 7:03 p.m. I'm there on a Monday, which is when I record my podcasts, and there is no internet. And because there's no internet, I am stuck. I cannot shoot my videos because a lot of my videos are with screen recording, and that requires an internet connection. I cannot view myself because my camera is attached to my computer network. I can't research because there is no Google, nothing whatsoever. So basically, I'm stuck. And it's crazy because the only thing that's going in my mind is, oh my God, I have to finish all my shoot on Monday, because if I don't, then the entire process that we have designed will break down. And no, this podcast is not about the process, not about content creation, nothing whatsoever. It's about this thing that consumes so many of us perpetually, and that's time. And not just time, but the notion of a deadline in everything that we are doing, which is what I'm facing right now. The reason why I'm getting somewhat jittery and somewhat unsettled is because I know that there is a deadline that I have to stick to so that everybody else also sticks to their deadline. And if I don't deliver today, then the process goes haywire. And time and again, it happens that whenever we are making decisions in our life, whenever we're making choices in our life, whenever we're setting goals and targets for ourselves in our life, we almost always attach time to that process. And it's crazy because we are told that if you don't have a consideration of time in your goals and your targets, then you most certainly will never hit them. And I disagree with that. So here's my take on this. Whenever you think about goals and targets, whenever you think about critical decisions in your life, whenever you think about how you want to live life, see if you can take away the element of time from all of that equation. From that entire equation, just take away time. If you say that I want to lose weight, don't say I want to lose weight by X. If you say that I want to buy a house or a car or go on that fancy vacation, don't say I want to do it by Y. If you create content, then don't say I have to deliver it by X. If you read a book, don't say I have to finish it by Y. Don't attach time to your goals and your targets, because the minute you do that, you, number one, create artificial scarcity. You almost create this sense of urgency, which can go either ways, where you are putting yourself into that precarious spot where if you don't hit it by that time, you suddenly are a loser. But are you? Are you really? If you don't buy that house, that car, by the time you're X, that's what you had in your mind as a target, as a goal, and you don't buy that by that X, are you a loser? Are you a failure? Are you somebody who didn't crack it? I'd say no, absolutely not. Why put that pressure on yourself to get to that point by a certain time? Get to that point. That by itself should be the joyous chase. That should be by itself the fulfillment. That should be by itself the target, and not in association with any time. And that's why, think about this now. Very often, when you take away the element of time in whatever is it that you do, you suddenly find yourself at more peace. You suddenly find yourself more in it. And you tend to enjoy that, experience that a lot more than you would otherwise. So if you were to say, I just want to write every day, that's it. I just want to write every day. I'm not writing towards a book. I'm not writing towards any literary award. I'm not writing towards any goal, any target. I just want to write every day. I just want to sing every day. I just want to play every day. I want to create content every day. I want to sign up to a certain process and not attach any time-based goal to that process. The minute you do that, you liberate yourself. The minute you do that, you free yourself. And as ironic as it will sound, the minute you do that, you set yourself up for far greater success than you would have otherwise. Because the minute you attach time to a certain goal or a target that you set for yourself, you are essentially defining failure for yourself. And we're all scared of failing. We all run away from failing. We don't want to fail, but we have now articulated, objectified that failure. If you don't lose weight within 3 months, if you don't buy a car by the time you're 25, if you don't buy that house by the time you're 30, if you don't get if you don't make this much money by the time you're this age, you brand yourself a failure. Even if you don't explicitly state it out, that's subconsciously embedded in your mind that you're going to be a failure if you didn't hit it by that time. But the question really is, are you? Are you a failure? And I'd admit no. You know that by now. You can buy that car, that house, get to that money, that wealth, whatever is it, whenever that happens, and you don't have to impose this deadline on yourself. And when you take away that deadline, when you're free, when you're liberated, you just do it for the joy of the process. And that's when you begin to see the power of what you bring to the table. I started creating content actively in March 2020. We're sitting in April 2022, 2 years. When I started, I had nothing. Not really nothing, but I had something which was nearly not big enough for me to have any goal, any target, any deadline attached to it. And I had two choices at that point of time. Choice one was, hey, I am at 7,000 followers on YouTube, some 7,000 on Instagram. Let's get to 100,000, 1 million by this time. Let's do whatever it takes to get to that point. If I didn't get there, I would be dejected. If I didn't get there, I would think of myself as a failure. But am I? No, I'm not. And when you free yourself from that and you say, here's the process. That's it. This is the process. We're going to do this clinically every day, every week, every month, every quarter. And we let the process take over. We'll trust that process and see where it takes us. Lo and behold, we're now at almost 6 million followers across all social media platforms in less than 2 years. In less than 2 years. Now, of course, that is not all because of what we did. There's a great element of luck and everything that comes in by. But I'm arguing here that taking away time from that equation, taking away time from that process, taking away any sort of deadline on everything that you did on a daily basis was the first step towards setting you up for success. Try this for yourself. Go back and revisit every single goal of yours today. There's no better day to do that, today. And then ask yourself, why did I put a deadline on it? Remove that deadline. See what happens. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel like you're making a wrong choice. You feel like you don't want to do it. But trust me, just marry yourself into the process, not to the deadline. And that liberation will get you closer to that outcome. Then few other things will. All the best. Thank you for listening to this episode of Woice with Warikoo. To be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to subscribe and follow the show on this app right now. Also, don't forget to rate and review the show because that just feels nice. Thank you.